to another edition of the D&D Morning Show. We're back at it with a brand new episode. We're really excited about this one because it's a topic that we're super passionate about.
Yes, we are. We're talking about plastic.
We're talking about our hate of plastic.
Strong word.
It is a strong word, and it was funny because when I was writing down the fun fact, I was thinking, Drew and I don't use the word hate very often, but in the context of plastic, I'm pretty sure we could use that word.
Very much dislike.
Very much dislike? You still don't want to go to the H word?
Nah, it seems like a negative word.
Okay.
But I'm okay with that.
Okay. Very much dislike.
So we have a fun fact?
That was our fun fact.
Oh.
The end.
All right.
Our fun fact was that we very much dislike plastic.
Yes. And we're going to talk about, the whole show is going to be about plastic, maybe why we dislike it, and some options to avoid plastic.
Yeah, maybe we can get into that right now as to why we dislike plastic so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Plastic is everywhere, and we feel the need to wrap everything in plastic. And it bothers me so much because it's like we don't take responsibility for what plastic does to our planet. And it drives me nuts. Like, we enjoy beautiful beaches. Mm-hmm. I think everyone does. Everyone that's been to a beautiful beach is like, wow, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. But we pollute those beaches every single time we buy plastic. Mm-hmm. And it gets to a point where it's very challenging to avoid plastic altogether. But there are things we can do to reduce plastic or avoid plastic.
And it's such a big problem. I think that sometimes maybe some of us feel that, you know, we can't make a difference because it's such a big problem. But I think every little decision you make is making a difference. And if everybody chose to do those little things, it would make a big difference.
Yeah, without question.
Mm-hmm. And I think, me too, what Drew was saying about the beautiful beaches, like we love going to the beach and we spend a lot of time out of the year at the beach. And nothing annoys us more than finding plastic on the beach, like those little water. We'll get into it more in detail, but those plastic water bottle caps, the straws, like all of these things are on the beach and end up in the beach or in the water. So I think that's one of the reasons that we are so strongly disliked it. Because we have a close connection to the beach.
We actually have these little vans here that we haven't talked about, I don't think, in one of the morning shows.
I don't think so.
There's a company called 4Ocean, and these are little glass beads, and then the band is made out of recycled plastic, maybe?
Yeah, well, I believe the whole bracelet is recycled plastic.
And so when you take this thing represents 1 pound of plastic out of the ocean. So there's a really cool company that goes around, like that's their purpose, is to take plastic out of the ocean. Like for us, we always look at prevention, especially when it comes to nutrition and health and fitness, but prevention as opposed to, treatment. So the treatment is they have to take plastic out of the ocean because seems like we have no regard for the plastic that we use. Mm-hmm.
And there's more and more companies popping up to help out. The one this last summer that we met was called Heal the Bay, I think. Oh, yeah. And they were an organization that got groups of people together to go all along the shores, along the beaches, and physically pick up trash that's on the beaches. And they would actually weigh it, so they would keep account of how much they were taking off of the beaches. Yeah. But I think if we can prevent, like Drew was saying, from the trash being put there in the first place, we'll be in a much better position.
So let's get into some of these products that we have.
Sure.
So we're covered, things are covered in plastic. So we do the best we can to find things that are have less plastic. Mm-hmm. What's the first one you got?
Well, I'm going to start, I think, with my number one pet peeve. And that is the plastic produce bags at the grocery store. Oh. Can't stand those. So Drew and I have cloth bags like this for our produce that we take and reuse each time we go to the grocery store. Sometimes we don't always remember our produce cloth bags, in which case we would just opt not to use the plastic bag.
Yeah, there's no reason to use them, only because we always have used them. You know, but now that we're more conscious of the planet and what plastic does, we can avoid plastic by not using the bags or using something like this.
I don't even know the purpose of them, like why we started using them in the first place.
Yeah. So I think we got a lot of items here, so we'll have to move quickly here. This one here is a deodorant stick. This is what I use now. For natural deodorants, everyone has to find something that works for them. This one in particular does work for me. And it's, as you can see, it's just a crystal. There's no plastic, which is why I avoid conventional types of deodorants, because they're usually wrapped in plastic. So here's an option for you to give it a try that might work for you.
Yes, that's right. Going back to the grocery store, shopping bags, plastic shopping bags. I think there's so many more options than I don't even know why we're still allowed to use them, to be honest.
Well, they're outlawed in some places, like a lot of places in the beaches, like in California, they're outlawed. I heard India outlawed them.
Really?
Yeah.
So come on, Canada.
Yeah, what are we doing? And sometimes you see someone that's in the grocery store and they have like 40 bags of groceries and it's all in plastic, and I'm like,
He's losing his mind.
What are you doing with all those bags?
And it doesn't take much effort to bring your own bag.
Right.
So bring your own grocery bag.
Glass jars for me is a big one. I use glass jars for drinking water and around the house. So everyone's like, why do you use glass jars? So I mean, that's the reason why I don't like plastic. Even plastic water bottles that are nice to reuse, for example, that last a couple years, eventually they're going to a landfill and probably an ocean. So for me, glass jars are an easy choice.
A new one for me is a shampoo bar as opposed to a shampoo bottle. Now this struck me because there's all kinds of different videos that go on, you know, on social media about plastic in the ocean, and there's this one that happened to pop up, and it was like a fish swimming around in plastic, and one of the images was of a shampoo bottle, and I'm like, what can I do to get rid of my shampoo bottles? And this is the solution I found, was a shampoo bar.
Yeah.
So super excited to try this out. I did a little research and I asked around, and good reviews on it. So I'm excited to try that one out.
And then these, just a side note, these bars, you can buy these bars as body wash, or like as body wash, right?
Yeah.
So you can use, instead of getting body wash in plastic bottles, you can get a container like this, which actually has no container.
A bar as opposed to a body wash plastic container.
Right. And toothbrushes are pretty cool. They're coming out with more and more different types of toothbrushes that are bamboo or non-plastic. This one is, the company's called Humble Brush, and it's the Humble company. The Humble CO. So anyways, it's made from bamboo, and it's, you know, just think about how many plastic toothbrushes you go through in your household, or you go through in your own home each year, because we should be changing our toothbrushes every few months.
We should be.
And
some people have to remind other people to change their toothbrush.
So those toothbrushes, again, are going in landfills, they're going in oceans. So if you get something that's more natural, then we can avoid that.
Saran wrap is another one in the kitchen that
doesn't need to be
used. And Ziploc bags too, like, So Drew and I use these reusable, this is our smallest size, they're big ones and medium ones as well, but these are reusable wraps, so you can wrap, I don't know, cut up an apple, wrap it up. You can put it over a bowl in the fridge, so that you don't have to use saran wrap or plastic wrap, and it keeps things very fresh. It's lined with beeswax, so it seals nice and tight to a bowl or whatever you're using. So ditch the plastic wrap, get yourself some of these reusable ones. What company is that? Oh, I don't remember, but there's a ton around.
It says right here.
Oh.
Just can't pronounce it. Abigo. Abigo's that company that we use right now, but there's other companies as well.
Tons
I think there's some local companies as well if you're local to these videos.
And you just wash them. You wash them, you dry them, they're good to go again.
Okay, my turn. This one is from Tanglewood, and that's a local company as well. And this is for laundry detergent, and it's super cool. Like, it comes with this metal spoon, and it's a glass container. You can bring these containers back to the store, and they give you a couple bucks. And the lid is not plastic either. So very cool. It works really well in It's a laundry detergent.
Yeah, and just think about how many big jugs of plastic laundry detergents are used and put into landfills.
Right. And then the last one we have?
The last one we have is new to our home as well, and it's a dryer ball. So you just throw these in. I like to put a couple of essential oil drops on the dryer ball, throw it in the dryer, as opposed to those highly toxic, environmentally unsafe dryer sheets.
Stop using those.
Stop using those. Not good for you or the environment.
All right, so we just wanted to mention these t-shirts briefly here. Our friend Dean is running the Boston Marathon.
Woo, go Dean.
Super excited for Dean, and he's raising money for a good cause, and we wanted to support him with these t-shirts, and we wanted to mention them briefly as well. So what do they say, Dorothy?
They say, do good, good happens.
And that Dean actually came up with that himself because of what he's doing. He's raising money, he's raising awareness, and he's getting a chance to run the Boston Marathon, which is super exciting. And we thought these shirts go along with our theme for this show as well.
Yeah, like do good. So we're talking about the environment and doing good to the environment, and good happens. You know, so if we treat the environment with care and we do good to the environment, then it can give us good in return.
That's right. And I think like we're always in the environment. Like we walk down the street. Like if, for me, when I see things on the ground, I'm like, I don't want to live in a world where there's trash everywhere, where there's plastic bags tumbling down the street. So I think that if we consider doing good things to our environment, with our environment, we're all living in it together. So I think that gives us a better opportunity to live in a healthy, happy environment together.
Yes.
And we have
peace and harmony.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And now we have a quote.
Yes, and it goes along with our environment as well. It says, be part of the solution, not part of the pollution. So be part of the solution. So do things to prevent pollution and help out as opposed to being a part of the pollution.
Yeah, no question. And that goes back to what you said earlier. I think that we can all do our part. We can all do small things. And I think the mindset of there's too much, or I don't really make a difference, it's not really the path that we want to go down. It's not going to make a difference, but we can come together by each one of us making a decision for our environment and being a part of the solution.
And if you just start with one thing, like Drew and I showed lots of examples here, but we didn't just start out this way. Right. You know, if over time we slowly started getting rid of more and more plastic things in our home. And so if you can just start with one thing, and maybe that is ditching plastic bags at the grocery store and bringing your own bag, for example. If you can just start with that, you are making a difference.
No question. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the D&D Morning Show.
Thanks. Yes, again, thanks for tuning in. We're always happy. Without you guys, it would just be Drew and I sitting here talking. So we're always happy to have you tuning in and listening to what we have to say.
All right, guys. See you inside.
Talk to you later. Bye.